Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear us well. I'm Thibaut Munier, co-founder of Numbly. I'll be live from Paris today. And today at Numbly is a very special day, to be honest. It's the Tea Day. It's TikTok Day. And we are all so excited to open this session with amazing speakers. TikTok is the key driver for 2022 in so many different areas. And so we'll share tips with Kiko Milano and some TikTok experts. So welcome to this session. I'll first introduce our special guests today. We have two speakers and experts from TikTok. So hello, Mark. Hello, Sharif. Welcome. Mark, you're a first TikTok expert. You have over 10 years experience in the digital media marketing world. You have a very long record of success in managing a portfolio of very diverse clients. So welcome, Mark. It's great to have you with us today. Sharif Ann, you're an experienced growth manager at TikTok. You have a huge knowledge on the platform, on its evolution. You'll share with us your vision and TikTok's vision for the future. Sharif, it's a pleasure to have you today with us. And then we have Jonathan from Kiko Milano. Jonathan, super happy to have you as well. You're general manager for MEA of Kiko Milano, which is, as everyone knows, I guess, so needless to say, the trendy makeup brand, especially in the Middle East, but everywhere actually. So welcome, Jonathan. It's great to have you. And I won't be alone, and I'm very happy for that to moderate this panel. I have the pleasure to welcome Dania. First of all, hello, Dania. Great to have you with us. So, Dania, you're our very own TikTok expert at Numbly. You've been digital marketing manager with us for a while now. You love to keep up with trends, and you'll give us a lot of insights on TikTok and its content. So, welcome, Dania. And we have Simon as well. Simon, welcome. You're a skilled media trader. You're specialized at Numbly on social media and TikTok. Very tech savvy person, always ahead of the game. You love to know the latest features and trends. So today we'll see if you know them better than our friends at TikTok. This is great to have you all on board, and we will start this session just to highlight the incredible growing presence of TikTok with a couple of figures from the US. You guys, I didn't say it, but you're all from Dubai today, so I feel very far away from you. And Dubai is clearly leading the game in how TikTok is being used and challenged. So it's great to have you all here. So talking about digital video, I mean, YouTube, to be honest, has ruled the game for so many years. I think 70 years, but 17 years, sorry. But as we can see on this chart and this study from eMarketer, we see that looking at each generation, clearly TikTok is growing so fast. I mean, you guys are eating into YouTube's dominance. The best, of course, is Gen Z for you. You're very close, and the gap is narrowing down all the time. It seems like YouTube's penetration has reached a ceiling here, while TikTok is raising very fast. I think our figures show that I mean, YouTube will rise just 1.5 percentage points this year compared to 2020, while TikTok would be up more than 13 points in this coming year. So obviously, and I was talking about the US teens, 12 to 17 years old, obviously are a very important generation. So in any case, we can clearly see that there is now someone challenging YouTube, and I think it's good for everyone. It's good for brands. It's good for the market. It's good for advertisers. Hopefully, it's good for you at TikTok as well. So we are very pleased to kick off this session, and I think. No way else to do than to start with really looking at what TikTok is today, and maybe Sharif, you can give us a couple of insights on this.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Thibaut, for the great intro. And let me extend a thank you from all of us at TikTok to Numberly team for taking the initiative and for arranging such a great forum to allow us to share a lot of the great insights and news we have at TikTok. So, without further ado, and without going into the presentation before that, I just want to ask a question. What is TikTok? Because this is the $1 million question that everyone thinks they know, but in reality, some people they might have a misconception about what is TikTok. So, can we refer to TikTok as a social media platform? No, TikTok is not a social media platform. Can we refer to TikTok as an entertainment platform? And again, if we talk entertainment, are we talking about teenagers dancing? Are we talking about performance? Are we talking about music only? Then no, TikTok is not an entertainment platform. What is TikTok? TikTok is an entertaining platform. It's a platform that have a specific goal of inspiring creativity and bringing joy and having a content that can entertain each and every individual, no matter what their interests are, what their age bracket is, what their demographics are. It's a platform for everyone. So how did we evolve at TikTok? How did TikTok reach to the stage that it is now? So since the dawn of the era, and when I have seen the start of the flow and the evolution of the communication, we have seen the very first kind of graph, which is called the context graph, which is basically when you had the publisher having the full control on what piece of advertising goes in which part of the newspaper. And in this case, you will go there, you will put your piece of advertising there, and based on that, it's a hit or miss. Either the leader is going to see your piece of advertising or not. Then the evolution continued to happen, and we started having the internet coming in the picture, and people for the very first time were able to search for a specific piece of knowledge that they want to get an information about, but it's not necessarily the first result that they will find is what's relevant for them. So you will have a question about why did the dinosaurs extinct, and then you will go and type it on Google, and then you have to go through a lot of information and results until you find exactly what you're looking for. Then social media came into place, and again, we're talking about evolution that happened in 10 years span between each and every part of the evolution. And we started having our exposure about what our peers and what is our social network commenting on and interacting with. So if we open Facebook today, the very first thing you will see what your peers at work have shared on their feeds, what they have commented on, what they have liked, all the way until the content graph. And this is the real and the latest evolution about the context. And it's basically having a very tailor made kind of journey and experience to each and every individual based on their own interest and their own behavior on a platform. So you have an algorithm that is very, very sophisticated in working and understanding what each and every individual consuming as a content on the platform, spending time on it, commenting, like, and based on that, you will start having a more and more tailored experience just for your own self. And this is what makes TikTok very unique platform. With that said, I will not be surprised to share with you the amazing news that you might have seen it on LinkedIn that we have reached 1 billion monthly active users in a time span of 5 years. And to give a perspective to everyone in the room, it took our peers in the industry almost 10, 12, and 13 years to reach the same number of monthly active users. So we're talking about a phenomena that has shown a great growth in a very short period of time, and the phenomena that's here to stay. And it's here to stay for so many reasons. And this is exactly what we are going to shed lights on in today's presentation. So, uh, relevance. When we talk about TikTok, and when we spoke earlier about having a very tailor-made journey for each and every individual, it means that people are going to be served content that they like, that they are most likely to interact with. The same way works with the ads. So the ads that we are going to be serving to our users or to the users are the ads for the products or the services that our users are most likely to interact with, that they are most likely to respond to a call to action, because we live in a very, very crowded era of communication. You open your phone every day, there are so many messages that are coming across, there are so many content that they are consuming, and let's face it, people don't like ads. It's reality. And our objective at TikTok is how to make people like that. What kind of ads they're seeing? If we look here at the figures that we're seeing, 22% of the people saying that say that they are seeing too many ads. Ads are getting in their way of enjoying their own content that they are initially opening the platform for. They are having the ads are not relevant to them. So, with that said, we can see that some other platforms like Netflix have shown huge growth over the last years because it's having this content graph, which is serving the users the content that are relevant to them and they are willing to interact and respond to. With that said, TikTok has managed to reach a very, very solid presence when it comes to the digital media landscape. We are now second after Snapchat in Saudi Arabia in terms of monthly active users. And when we talk monthly active users, we're talking about people who download the app and are using it frequently, not the users who just download the app one or two one time and they're not using it as frequent. So again, this shows how engaged our users are. This shows how growth, the momentum that we have been seeing in the biggest market in the GCC region, which is Saudi Arabia. So, a very interesting question. I think, Tibo, you would like to to throw it in.
No, yeah, because thank you, Sharif. I think one question we have obviously is if my target audience is not yet on TikTok, and we all believe that it's going to be very soon, as you described and as the figures show, and also because the regions are all very different, and you have different rates of growth across the world, obviously, and rates of penetration. So but in any case, why should I advertise here as a brand, as an advertiser, if my target audience is not there yet?
Very insightful question, Tibo. Thank you very much for that. So the fact that the fact of life that we're having now is everyone slowly becoming on TikTok. So it's not anymore a platform for a specific age group who are looking for a specific type of content. It's a platform for everyone. So you will have some of the millennials that are new parents that are being on TikTok just for the sake of understanding some parental advice, or some other one who's consuming content about cooking tips and so on and so forth. So when the content is trend setting and when the content is positive, and this is exactly the main attributes that we as TikTok stands for, being having a trend setting content, find the content that is very unique from any other platform, content that is positive, because this is the main goal of TikTok, is to inspire creativity and bring joy. It's a platform that you feel good after using. When we talk about authentic content, a content that you cannot find elsewhere, because basically it's tailor made and created mainly for TikTok, and it's fitting perfectly with the ecosystem of TikTok. When we talk about content that's enjoyable, this is why we have been recruiting users from so many different age groups, from so many different backgrounds, from so many different demographics, because basically, no matter what their interest is, they are find content on TikTok. And when they start getting on TikTok, they started consuming more and more of content, because this goes back to the discussion of our unique algorithm and having a journey that is tailor made for each and every individual based on their own interaction with the platform. So when we talk about the relevance about the ads, so for years and years, the currency was always reach. How do we maximize the reach? How do we reach the maximum number of people with our pieces of advertising? But let's talk about some of the mass media that are almost extinct now, or on the way to being extinct, like mass media, like TV. They have the reach, but do they have the relevance? Do they manage to catch and grab the attention of their users throughout their journey on the mass media? I think maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. Because basically, it's for years and years that have been a mass media that's targeting so many different people with so many different, with similar kind of content, not something that is tailor made for them. And this is exactly what the latest evolution of the content has proven to work successfully with TikTok. We can see that 71% of the people, they don't mind advertising as long as the advertising is relevant for them. And this again goes back to the relevance as a new currency, and as a new language that we love to speak at TikTok. How to be relevant, how to take part in what really matters to the community of TikTok, how to make them feel that this is a really authentic kind of channel that you're communicating openly and in a very real way with your audience, if I may say. When we talk about how do they perceive the TikTok, 54% of our users find the brands to be credible on TikTok. And this goes to a very simple reason, because most of the brands that has been proven to be successful on the platform has managed to either create a content that is native and fits within the ecosystem of the platform, or collaborate with content creators that followers trust. And we have to put trust between brackets, because if I'm consuming content that's being pushed by a content creator that I'm following, and I know that he's authentic and I know that he's real, I'm most likely to trust the brand that he's going to be advertising or promoting for. And 53% as well trust the quality of the brands being advertised. Again, we're very humbled with these results because they are amazing, and it shows that we are on the right track of being a trustworthy platform, an authentic platform that people can really, and our users can really resonate the messages they are getting from the platform. With that said, it's not a surprise to see that TikTok has shown an ad recall lift of 65% based on the research done by Ipsos, which is one of the biggest research agencies in the world, which is double TV and three times digital. And here it goes back to the very first discussion we had about the algorithm, because users are being served ads that is relevant for their own interest, so they are more likely to remember and to have a recall of these kind of ads when they see it on the platform, because again, it's a tailor-made journey for each and every individual based on their own interest and their own behavior.
Thank you so much, Sharif. I think it's quite amazing. Some people could argue maybe that you have a higher ad recall lift because you have younger people who have a better memory, you know. But I think that obviously Ipsos took this into account, and the figures you prove here, that you show here, and thank you for sharing this, is quite amazing, both for ad recall and for purchase intent. Thank you so much. I think, Simon, it would be just great now if you could share with us the first TikTok campaign for Kiko in the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy to finally present this first use case. It was our first test with Kiko on the platform, and we were really happy about it. I'm going to try to present it to you using three main questions currently. So, why TikTok? Who did we target on TikTok? And how did we manage to reach those people on TikTok? We talked about a lot recently about with Sharif about who's on TikTok. Is my actual target is on TikTok? Well, for Kiko, it was actually obvious for us that it was on it. But what's really important for us, it was to reach a new audience on the platform. It was an opportunity for us to reach some new people, people that are not maybe on other platforms so far. It was also an opportunity for us to go on TikTok to follow an emerging trend as well. And why TikTok? Mainly also because in the GCC, the target of Kiko is actually really present, is maybe one of the most present on the platform. So then when we move to who's on TikTok, well, I just replied it. Like, we know the target is actually on TikTok for us because the age bracket who's targeting Kiko is actually more present on TikTok. So it was obvious for us that TikTok would be something that would work with us and would match with the actual currently image of Kiko. So we decided to go for a bracket of mainly women from 18 to 45. And we used some really interesting targeting options that TikTok has, which is being able to target people that recently interacted, watch a type of content. So we're able to target people that, for example, liked or fully watched a video around beauty, around makeup in the last 15 or even sometimes 7 days. So we know that the target is really relevant. We know that the target is actually currently watching some stuff around beauty. And we know that the content we're going to show them is going to match what they were watching just before. And we also use around with this simple interest actual in makeup and beauty targeting, knowing that people, if they have already some interest in makeup, will be targeted by our ads. So now we know why and who we targeted on TikTok. But then we get another tough question when it comes to actually doing ads on TikTok is, how are we going to target them? Which type of content are we going to use? It's a question that everyone has. Everyone is a bit scared to not having the right content to go on TikTok. So we decided to do a small test because we knew that people wanted maybe more likely user-generated content, but we already had some really great branded content from Kiko. So we used both, and we did an A/B testing, seeing either the UGC content that we have right now on the screen would outperform the branded video you will see in the next slide. And so that's all the full ad came up with a small CTA to actually drive people directly to Kiko stores around you. And the results were a bit surprising, and they were great, and they were not exactly what we were expecting because, as you can see on the left, the A/B test results, the actual branded content outperformed slightly the user-generated content, which kind of shattered a bit one of the fear we had before of not being able to use the branded content on TikTok, because the branded content ended up having a slightly better CTR and a lower CPM overall, meaning we've reached a bit more people and more people clicked on this ad. So we were really happy about the results overall for this thing. And we had the same results for the both of them, knowing that they had pretty much the same amount of video views in the end of the campaign because they had the same budget with the A/B testing, and the cost overall per video view for both of them was almost the same exactly. And that's not all for this campaign. We really had a really great engagement for a first test with a good small amount of budget. We reached about 600K people in the region, which is what is around like 60% of the total target we were aiming for, which is just amazing, even above that what we expected, and generated more than 30,000 clicks total for an average click rate of 0.62%, which is for video content like this really amazing. And it's not all because we know the video generated some likes, more than 5,000. We know the video were shared as well around this. So the engagement overall for this first campaign on the platform was really, really good. And as you can see, it was seen by a lot of people. We nearly had 2 million videos started. More than 21,000 people actually went all the way through those videos for the UGC and the actual branded content. And we had a really good average watch rate per person above the 5.2 seconds. So it was really, really nice. And what's next? I think it's the right timing for us to wish an happy 25th birthday to Kiko. That just happened. So because of the first campaign we had that performed really well and we're really happy about it, we are now doing a new campaign on TikTok, as you can see on the screen, for the 25th birthday of Kiko that just happened, with some UGC, not really UGC, it's a bit of a branded content, but with some local influencer from the region that are shown in the screen. And so far, the campaign is performing super well as well. We're really happy about it. And I think it's my time maybe to ask this question to Jonathan, who is with us, is uh, do you feel satisfied by the actual result of the campaign so far? Do you like what's happening currently with TikTok? Did it actually meet your expectations?
Hi everyone. Thanks Simon for the question. As you've shown on the result, it definitely met, and I would even say over exceeded our expectation. We were talking and we were talking about the target audience and the reach that we have through TikTok and the content that we use. It was a test for us. It was a first time we had the same question that Sherif described at the beginning, and you spoke as well during your first slides. We had the same, let's say, concern, and we were very still happy and excited to do that test last year in November. And as you shown, the results were over our expectation. The reach and especially the reach of the end customer that's seen our ads were extremely relevant. So for us, the ad and the experience was very positive. And as you mentioned, right now in March, we're redoing the same experience with UGC content for our 25th birthday.
Thanks a lot, Jonathan, for your input.
Thank you, Jonathan, so much. We have a lot of questions on the chat already, and thank you, everyone. I will try to answer them all. If we can't make it, obviously we'll send answers afterwards. So please write your first name, maybe last name when you ask a question. So one key question we see is around the measuring the impact. And so of course everyone is interested in the platform, but everyone also wants to see more and wants to understand, I think, better the true impact of these platforms. So maybe Mark, you can give us some KPIs that can be achieved through TikTok.
Perfect, people. Thank you so much for the question, and salut everyone. Firstly, I would just like to say that we are extremely proud when we have partners like Jonathan saying these kind words about the performance and how they trusted TikTok and how they were onboarded with us. And that wouldn't have been done without the tremendous support from Numberly team to ensure that the infrastructure is set in the right place to get the results that Jonathan and his team are looking for, right? And this is why exactly TikTok, we are positioning ourselves as partners of choice. We want to make sure that Jonathan is confident that TikTok is a partner that is going to deliver day in and day out for all his campaigns that are going to be throughout the year. And this is where we want to be positioned. Exactly. And this is a sheer overview about the products that we offer as TikTok. But just to go a step back to understand like how TikTok will support you guys in terms of your business, in terms of your objectives, our job at TikTok is to make sure that we are stitching our products within your needs, within your objectives, within your KPIs, right? And this is why we work with Numberly and our partners to understand the key objectives that you guys want to reach. And this is where we start building our strategy, our direction behind that. In terms of the objectives that we have, we cover the full funnel from awareness to growth to ensuring that we are increasing the real lifetime value of the users that are adopting for the product. And a very interesting word that is very well used in FMCG is the first moment of truth. And you have seen the passion that Sharif and Jonathan and Simon were sharing about why, how TikTok, and this is exactly why when we come to you guys about why you want to be on TikTok, this is where we want to share as well the same passion in terms of the products, right? So we will always take a step back, understand the key objectives that you have, identify the solutions that will be stitched to your objectives to drive the utmost best performance and results.
Okay, thank you so much, Mark. It's great to see that TikTok can cover different types of marketing solutions. We move on now to some of our business cases. So here we focus on choosing the right content on TikTok. For this campaign, we worked with Tifal to promote the new Ingeno targeting for millennials on TikTok. For this campaign, we promoted 3 different types of videos and compared which performed the best against a demographic. In this case, we see we've got one that's video open and close. So in this case, this was the branded provided by Tifal itself. The second one we have is one video optimized by TikTok. And finally, the user relevant content, which we see on TikTok every day. So as a user, someone who scrolls, we are expected to see stuff when it comes to tips. We come to different type of hashtags. For example, one of the most popular ones is learn on TikTok. And this is some sort of content that is relevant to this. In this case, we also focused on target audience, the demographic of between 18 to 35. As you can see, the results at the bottom, the completion rate based on each video, we started off with 2.8 with the original video, with the one optimized by TikTok, and finally with 2.5, and finally 6.9 with the user-generated feel. In this case, the CTR was better on the video optimized. However, the completion rate was better at 6.9 with the user-generated one. This means that the user has now watched the whole video. They have interacted with it, they've loved the video, and they have literally looked at it and realized, okay, this is something I want to watch. This is what we need to focus when it comes to brands. You need to focus on providing something that feels real, something that they can relate to, and something that they think, okay, this is not branded, this is something that I'm doing myself. In this case, overall, the performance of the user relevant content was the one that performed the best, and the CPM achieved was lower than the target CPM. Also, it was 5 points versus benchmark completion rate of TikTok. So moving on, we also have a banking app download campaign. Due to confidentiality, we will not be able to disclose the brand for this campaign. However, this campaign itself, it performed really, really well, and we thought it would be worth sharing with. So yeah, we'll try to avoid the questions of what brand it was. On the first, so this is one of the first bank app downloads campaign within the MENA region. We use multiple types of targeting, which you can see here. So I'm just going to go through them for you. So the interest in financial services, interaction with professional development videos, interaction with business and finance videos, and finally, interest around entertainment and offers. In this case, it's good to have different types of targeting because we don't want to just focus on one. We want to be able to reach more than just one person. The results were really impressive. It generated a huge amount of clicks for the budget that we used. In this case, it provided 19,987. And in terms of the cost per download, it was 7.71, which is much lower than the benchmark within the banking industry. This brings us on to our next topic of what you would need to advertise on TikTok. This question goes to Mark. So Mark, if you can, how does TikTok support business with the creation and implementation of ads?
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Danya, and really happy to see the results that you just shared. So to take a step back as well, to recap on what you have just mentioned and previously the solutions that we have. So we have all the products, right? From high impactful, like the top views, to the app installs, as you have shared now, to the DSA as well. So we cater the full funnel, right? But how do we fuel this? It's with creatives. This is the bread and butter, right? And this is why we are working with our partners to ensure that we are equipping them. We are making sure that they have all the tools available for us to be able to get the best creatives, best practices, and to as well launch them throughout our campaigns. How do we do that? We have three different pillars that we are working towards as well with our partners. The first one is the shop. And this is where, for example, we have a lot of clients that come in, they have one asset, but they are not sure if it's exactly how it should be on TikTok, if it's the same look and feel that is on how the organic ads are on TikTok. And this is where our team, with their expertise, they're gonna help and repurpose the creative to ensure that it matches the style on TikTok and it gets the results that the clients are hoping for. The second one is the TikTok Creator Marketplace. And this is something that I will touch on in details later on. And it's something that is very important. It's a platform that we have created to bridge our creators with our partners to ensure that they are able to support our partners to get the best creatives in place, because the creators are the blood of TikTok. They understand what works best, how to shoot a video content, and they know exactly how to get the emotional part of their community based on the ads that they are creating for these brands. And this is why it's something very important for us. And the third option, which is the TikTok Creator Exchange, and this is where we are actually coming in and supporting brands that they don't have creatives in place, they don't have ideas, and this is where TikTok will come in with our agencies, with our creative agencies, to help drive the ideation for these creatives and actually produce them. And these are the creatives that can be as well launched throughout the campaigns. So in a recap, we have packages for every single pillar that I just shared with you guys. Going back to the solutions as well, once we understand the objectives of each brand, this is where we can actually tailor-make the package to make sure that we are answering those and we are actually getting the best performance possible. Going back to the second pillar that we discussed, which is creators. Creators are key on TikTok because they speak to the community. They understand what the community likes. They are very emotional. They know how to present the content that they are doing. This is why it's something extremely important for all of our brands to jump on board and make sure that they are utilizing this key pillar that we have in terms of offering from our side. If we can move on to the next slide, please, Danya. Perfect. And this is a testimony about the importance of having creators, because they help create the best storytelling for your brand, right? And we can see this, it helps increase the higher engagement on the campaigns that you have, on the profile that you have, to make sure that you are able to capitalize on all the knowledge that they have on the platform and link it as well to your brand.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that. We move on to Jonathan. This is a question for you. What prevented you from advertising on TikTok before, and what made you switch?
So what prevented us from advertising on TikTok before was, again, that question about relevancy of the target audience. Kiko, being still a very fun and colorful and playful brand, our target audience was more millennial. When you look at the person on TikTok in Europe, you see that the age is much younger and it's not relevant for us. That being said, for the GCC, as you shown on the graph before, it's much more relevant to our target audience. TikTok not being an active account for global, we had to also to pitch our case and convince our global team that it was actually relevant for the Middle East because the customer and our customer specifically was on TikTok. And that's why we decided to test it out with that A/B testing during Black Friday.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. We thought we should now focus more on organic content. And so, Sherry, I would have a question for you. Maybe how do you think we can utilize TikTok for business?
Very insightful question. Thank you, David, for it. TikTok is an ecosystem, and an ecosystem that has to work together in order to deliver the best aspired results, if we will say. So it comes hand in hand. And if we go to the next slide, we will start seeing that what are the three pillars that we need to focus on when being present on TikTok as a brand, which are the organic beat, the paid peaks, and the content creator or creators partnership. Organic beat is basically by you having a continuous content that you are producing or you are shooting and you are uploading on TikTok to make sure that you are maintaining the level of engagement and you're really utilizing TikTok as a channel that allows you an opportunity that none of the other digital media platform or social media platform allowed it before, which is having this kind of authentic line of communication and narrative with your own users. This has to come hand in hand with the paid peaks. And again, this will goes back to each and every brand and its strategy. When is the key moments for each and every brand when they want to really make a big fuzz and be the talk of the town? Because as Mark have said, we have the solutions that can make a brand be the talk of the town if they really want to do so. And last but not least, our content creator or creators partnership, which is again Mark have shed some light on, and how can the brands utilize the content creators on the platform in the best way, and how we as TikTok are providing the tools and the ability to connect the brands with the content creators directly. And again, this saving the brands a lot of time, a lot of research, because we do this at TikTok. We provide the content creators that we believe will really add value to the brands so they can work with.
Thank you, Sherry.
So yeah, with that said, TikTok is really a platform that managed to have some products selling out on the shelf because the products went viral on TikTok. And I think TikTok made me buy it is a testimonial of the hashtag TikTok made me buy it is a testimonial on this, because really it showed how people were gaining trust on the products that they are watching online on TikTok, and they were directly going to the stores in order for them to find and purchase these stores. There are limitless number of cases that we have of products that went out of stock because they went viral on TikTok. And they went viral on TikTok because the brand managed to have the right narrative, whether by creating the right creative or collaborating with the right content creators on the platform. So it's really a platform that, if we are going to speak business, you can see impactful and instant results if you utilize it in the right way when it comes to achieving commercial objectives or business objectives.
Mhm.
So this basically summarize what we are here for and what myself and Mark on behalf of TikTok team are trying to convey to everyone in the room. Reach is not the currency anymore. It's relevance. It's how are you going to be relevant to your users. It's how are you going to be targeting and reaching out to the audiences who have the interest and they are going to respond to the call to action. So it's really the new era of communication. It's really the new era of effective communication, which is relevance. And we at TikTok, we promise all our partners and all our advertisers that we are going to be providing the tools and the right ecosystem for them to move from being reach optimized to being more and more relevant and effective optimization.
Wonderful. Jonathan, then comes a question for you, obviously. You do not have a local TikTok business account, so are you now looking to start one?
So we do not have a local TikTok account because, as I mentioned, we do not have a global one yet.
Mhm.
As soon as we will be able to have daily relevant content, especially relevant content like Sharif was mentioning before, which is key to keep your account alive, and hence able to open a global TikTok account, we will definitely also have our local page. But again, like Sharif mentioned, you need to have the right content and the right narrative, and to be able to have a performing, let's say, TikTok account.
Wonderful. I think it's already time, maybe Dania, to wrap up a bit.
Yeah, so now it's time for us to wrap up with the key takeaways. We move on to our final questions. Simon, please take it away.
All right. I think we, again, Jonathan, have a few questions for you to wrap up the last part. Maybe can you tell us, for you, what was the benefits that came from advertising on TikTok, and what are the benefits you see coming, again, in the future with the campaigns you are live currently and the campaigns that are coming in the pipe as well for later?
So the benefits, again, by having the right narrative, the right content that matches the TikTok platform, we definitely are reaching a new audience, but relevant audience, which we would not be able to reach to any other media. Forget about even other platform, but in any other media in general. And that's why it's so beneficial for us. So we're choosing our moment right, because again, the content of the content that we are advertising on TikTok needs to be relevant once more for the platform and that entertaining platform. But it definitely helps us to reach really relevant target audience.
Okay, yeah, makes sense, obviously. Sorry, and we had, of course, another question for you as well, Jonathan, since we have you with us. It's a question I think that a lot of people think about. I believe we might have some people that already asked this question currently in the chat, and it's a question that people are going to keep asking even after this webinar and for the years to come when it comes to TikTok. It's which type of brands could fit in the platform? Because we know for you, Kiko, it's kind of obvious, but for a lot of other people, it's not really the case.
So again, I think it's back to the same point that we mentioned quite often. I believe any brand could advertise on platform. It's again the relevance of the content that we are going to put there, because any brand can have let's say fun and entertaining content that will match that will be what the customer is or the user of TikTok will want to receive on the other side. So it's really a question of matching the narrative and the content of your brand or of your product that you want to sell for the TikTok for the TikTok platform. So any brand could have fun, creative, and relevant content.
Dania and Simon and everyone, actually, we have a question also from in the audience about maybe high-end niche fragrances or niche brands. How do you see this working on TikTok?
Well, actually, I cannot say any names currently, but we may have an upcoming campaign for a very niche, very targeted fragrancy brand coming up in a GCC. We've thought a lot about this campaign because it's obviously not going to be easy. It's a really premium target. It's not something that really match TikTok straight away, but it's something that is super relevant to a region because it's really important. Fragrance is really a huge market around here. So we have this new campaign in the pipe, and we already have a few ideas of the key targeting we're going to use in terms of interaction, like we did for Kiko in the past, people that interacted with a specific type of content or video of lifestyle, especially in a region. And the key we're working on right now is, as we said before, the content we're going to use for this campaign needs to be coming from influencer. We need to find the right influencers that match this perfume in a region. We have a lot of really strong, really big influencer in the GCC that can really carry this kind of brands with them, and that's what we're currently working with. It's having this kind of person boosted to maybe a few people on the platform with this content, and see how they react with it, and see if we can actually drive them to experience it directly into the store.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Simon. We also have question about how granular we can be in the targeting. I think that's something which is obviously important for brands, for advertisers. So, Dania, you're an expert with the platform. You know that.
So I think it's about knowing what to put on it and knowing how to advertise on it. For example, as we said previously, throughout all of this deck or this webinar, relevance is key.
Yeah.
Forming your brand, it could be any brand, for example, even as we said, niche, is just knowing what exactly is currently trending, first of all, and also finding exactly what your demographic likes. Even regardless to that, sometimes we are surprised where we find that some demographics which we didn't even plan to focus on are interested in the content that we're providing. So the beauty of TikTok is that we do get to have such a huge reach, even to the demographic which you never expected to be focusing on, and giving your brand exposure, and also focusing on the content that we didn't even think would be onto.
Great.
And I think I can add up maybe a little bit on the granularity of the targeting we can have with TikTok. Obviously, like any other platform, we can do some custom agents. We can do some more like all these options are existing currently. What's really key right now is specifically when I said before we did for Kiko, is being able to target people that interacted recently with specific type of content. And it's just not just about the interaction. You cannot target actually a specific interaction with the content, meaning if we want only people that are really engaged with this content, we can limit our targeting, for example, to people that have seen a beauty video and shared it, and stop the targeting with only people that share it, so that we know they are really engaged and maybe trying to influence other people with it. We can also be as quite precise if people recently followed or consulted a page. If we want to be really on something really active, we can target people that just in the last 7 days, for example, followed the page of someone who is actually producing beauty content. And we're talking a lot of beauty. I'm sorry because of the case of Kiko, but we have a lot of different target options when it comes to this. I don't have all of them in the top of my head, but there's a lot of different industries, and we can be quite granular, I believe, when it comes to this targeting.
We had one question as well. Maybe Dania, you can help us with that one. On alcoholic brands, what are the legal constraints? Can you target only legal drinking age users?
So in this case, obviously, depending on the country, depending on the legal age, is what you should be promoting. Ideally, focus on the target audience that your brand is legally allowed to do so. I think doing it in the right content, making sure it's not promoting it, to get completely intoxicated, or in a sense where it's not, in a legal sense. But as long as you do it in a sense where it's safe, as it is usually done on other platforms, I think you should be okay.
Okay. Also about content, someone in the chat asked Dania whether the same content maybe could be used for Instagram. Would it be relevant for brands on TikTok?
It is relevant. Just always keep in mind what you see on TikTok first is always followed after on other platforms. So there is a lot of benefit by doing it on TikTok, and you do get a lot of the same content. However, sometimes on Instagram we have seen other results, but overall we do see a lot of the content that is promoted on TikTok do end up on the different social ads as well.
Interesting.
Okay,
Simon, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, if you don't mind, I would
Of
just
course.
like to thank Simon and Dania for taking on the questions. Just on the alcohol one, we do have some policies in place, so we would be more than happy to share them with Simon, Dania, and whoever asked that question offline as well from our side.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I think this would be great, and also try to answer the other questions, because we really have a lot. Again, as you said, Sharif, the engagement is amazing when it comes to TikTok in all sense. Also, an interesting one, I think, around lead gen. Simon, I know you've been looking at this. Can TikTok be useful to build lead gen campaigns?
Yeah, it's actually an option that has been added to TikTok, I think not too long ago. I don't want to say anything stupid, but I believe it's quite recent on the platform. So it's now possible to do lead gen campaign on the platform. We are currently working on a few campaigns to maybe try it, see the results, so it go. I don't have any results I can give right now on ongoing campaigns for the lead gen, but it's something possible. You have way to actually manage it and kind of say define it and change it as you want to have all the get all the information you want with it. But yeah, it's definitely something you can do on TikTok now, and it's something that we're digging for the future because we want to try it out, and we may have currently campaigns trying it out.
Wonderful. Okay, so we can see, I think, a huge variety of objectives that can be really um, achieved through a TikTok presence. There's also a question about when a product goes viral because of a random creator, does this creator gain anything from this? Who wants to answer this one?
If it's user generated, as in, sorry, if it's the case where the user themselves has done it for their own purposes, as in like it's not a sponsored ad, then surely no. But if it's the case where the brand has been involved and they have paid the certain influencer or the person who is advertising, then I guess in that sense, then yes. But in general, then no.
Big question as well. I think a lot of people in the audience are interested, and they would like to start maybe, but they're asking, what would be your biggest advice when starting out on TikTok, strategy-wise? Sharif, I'm sure you have an opinion on this.
Yes, and I think this will goes back to the slide that we have presented about the key pillars
Yeah.
of what are the three key pillars that we need all the advertisers, all the brand to focus on, because again, it's an ecosystem. We as TikTok, we provide you with the users and we provide you with the algorithm that can read the user's interests so you can target them in the best way possible. You're at your part, you should be first of all ensuring being very active on your own TikTok account organically with a content that is relevant for the users by understanding what are the latest trends and trying to jumping on it in a way that makes sense, not just for the way of doing it, because really people can identify what's real and authentic and what is not. Paid peaks by having an always on kind of approach when it comes to being active with the campaigns on the platform. And last but not least, creators. These people have the know-how. These people can save you a lot of time when it comes to thinking, preparing, and ideating, because they can basically do the job for you, and you can use this content and as your own piece of advertising on the platform.
Obviously, thank you, Sharif. We have questions about how to choose the right influencers on TikTok, because our audience says, yes, the marketplace helps a lot, but sometimes one influencer made a buzz on one video, and how about is that person going to be relevant after?
Perfect. I can take this, Thibaut. So
Yes.
basically, I just want to clarify how easy it is for any brand to log into TTC AMP or to speak to us directly along with the team in Numberly. As you guys see, they are very equipped to answer everything. They know all the details. And it's very simple on how you actually can connect with these creators and how you can actually get the content in a very easy manner, right? And this is the beauty about it. So because I come from a very long agency background, and I know that a lot of clients they have a lot of challenges when it comes to getting the creatives from the creative agencies, and this is not the relevant content on this specific platform. However, when you go to TTCM, which is the creative marketplace, this is where you're actually going into a hub that everyone knows what they're doing and everyone wants to work towards one goal is getting you that virality that we're talking about, making sure that the user adopt your product, they feel connected towards it, right? And we have so many tools as well on our ads manager that allows all the brands as well to tweak their creatives, you know. So from our side, from TikTok perspective, we made sure to have a seamless operation to make sure that the ads manager is very straightforward and equipped for all the brands to be able to toggle in and make sure that they can create whatever they feel like will be relevant towards their brand, and never shy to come to us because we are here to support you guys, right? So we are here to make sure that we are supporting you in terms of the best products. For example, what Simon was mentioning about lead gen, right? And other products that are being whitelisted or better, you know. So this is why when we work together, we'll be able to deliver a very solid performance based on a strong infrastructure.
Thank you so much, Mark. Of course, as you can imagine, we also have questions in the audience about the size of the budget to start with. maybe Simon, you can give us a obviously it depends on the brands, the objectives, and the targeted audience, but maybe you can give us some clarity here.
Yeah. As you said, it's a tough question. There's a lot of different parameters that will influence on the what type of budget you should use. For a small awareness campaign, if you are targeting maybe only one country with a specific target, you can manage to try out TikTok with actually a pretty low budget. No, as soon as you will move to something more performance oriented, or if you try to get the lead gen like we talked before, obviously you're going to have to implement quite a bigger budget for it to be able to achieve any results, because like anything else, there's a lot of optimization to do. The algorithm needs to work, it needs to have some data coming inside of him for it to be performing. So as your objective get more complex, as you will put more country inside of the targeting, a bit different targets, you need to increase quite a lot your budget. But it's quite frankly easy to go on with a tiny budget at the beginning. If you want to do some awareness, just see if your videos are relevant, if people are going to engage with it. You can actually go with quite a small budget.
Awesome, thank you. Also, a very interesting question, really. What percentage of followers may we expect to reach organically on average? Dania, you have an idea on this?
So it's hard to be quite specific on a percentage. You need to always remember, as we've been saying throughout this whole webinar, focus on the relevancy. What you put out, what you're putting out there is what is gaining you followers, is gaining you reach. And as the algorithm connects it, it connects you to the right people. In this sense, I would say the main focus should be the relevancy and consistency. It's hard to give a percentage, but in terms of what you're providing, again, consistency and relevancy.
Thank you so much, all of you. I must admit, I haven't seen such a number of questions in the chat for for a while, and so I want to thank you all for being so insightful and I think inspirational to our audience on this great platform. As far as myself, to be honest, the key takeaways I'll keep from this great discussion is probably the unprecedented focus that you guys at TikTok are having on relevance. I think relevance is always key in digital. To a certain extent, that's the true promise of digital, right? It's how to be relevant that makes the difference, because that sparks the interest from the audience. And so you definitely have a clear advantage on this, and we can say in listening to you how important and priority it is for you. The second thing is the key focus you guys have for creators and for an enjoyable content. And last, I would say to also provide some reasons why we cannot answer all the questions yet. It's the growth that you guys are facing. It's growing so fast in all categories of people, as we saw, that of course, I mean, you guys are probably building while walking and while running, actually. And so we need to take this into account, but definitely it sounds like an amazing opportunity for brands, and I'll keep those three key takeaways for me, really. I want to thank you all so much. Thank you, Sharif. Thank you, Mark, for TikTok. Congrats. Continue like this. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us. I know you're extremely busy, and thanks for your trust, and good luck in the growth of Kiko everywhere, and especially on your region. And congratulations and thank you to Dania and Simon as well. Thank you. You were our experts here, and you have a great connection with all the TikTok team. So it's a pleasure to have you. Clearly, I mean, Dubai and Middle East is leading the way here, and so we're extremely excited to look at TikTok from this perspective. I want to tell our audience, also invite them all to thank them all first for being with us today, and also invite them all for our upcoming webinar, which will be in a while, but it should be extremely inspirational as well. It's on April 20 at 5 p.m. European time. We will be having and hosting Lubomira Rocher. Lubomira was the former global CDO of L'Oréal Group, based in Paris. She is now based in London. She will tell us what she is doing. She was also Global Marketer of the Year a few years ago. So you can tell that it's going to be an extremely interesting session. I think this is it for today. I wish you all a fantastic evening in the Middle East, afternoon in Europe, and morning in the US. And let's talk very soon. Thank you all.